joining me. Now tonight is her energy series, and today I want to be talking to you about posture. And again, something I'm deeply passionate about. So thank you for joining me. Okay, so let's go right back to when we are born. You are born, okay? And so for the first 3 months of your life, you are a neonate. So you are just becoming accustomed to living, okay? You're totally unaware, all right? And then from then on, we start developing. And here I'm speaking specifically about physically, okay, in movement, okay? So first of all, we start experimenting and exploring our body. We start discovering that it has potential, that we have abilities, that we can actually do something. So the first thing we start doing is start rolling, okay? We start rolling and exploring that. In doing so, we're now starting to discover that we have arms and legs and a torso. And we're starting to develop a certain amount of abdominal strength, okay? Then we end up on our tummies, and parents who are loving and caring normally sit us in a sitting position and prop us up with pillows, and that way they can then get us to start sitting because they're impatient now. They want to interact with you, they want you to play with toys, so they start getting you into a more vertical position. So now you're propped up with pillows and you're starting to discover that you've got abdominals and that you've got a body and hands, okay? And then from there, now you've done the rolling and you end up on your tummy and you start bringing in your knees to your chest. And what you're doing is you're doing the inchworm, bringing your knees in and then pushing yourself forward. Bringing your knees in, pushing yourself forward, and now we're starting to get some kind of movement happening. In doing this, we are strengthening our legs, our hips, our glutes, our abs, our arms, all right? Why? Because then we get into the crawling position. So now we're on our hands and knees and we start crawling. So now we're gaining strength in our legs, our arms, our abs, everything's starting to gain strength. And now we're getting confident and we start crawling and standing up. Crawling and standing up and getting ourselves vertical. And that takes us into a whole different scenario, a whole lot different physical place to be. Because now suddenly we need ankle strength. We need glute strength. We need core strength in order to stand up, okay? So then we start doing this more and more and more. We're on our feet, they're hypermobile, they are capable of holding us in the ankles, so we need ankle strength, that starts to strengthen. And so then we've got our leg strength, our glute strength to hold us up, our ab strength, and so on. Until eventually we now bravely take our first steps and then we're off. Okay, the end. No one ever looks again at the way you walk, sit, stand, run, or whatever. And then you become a grown-up and you get married or you don't, or whatever, and you end up having children and giving birth. And boom, the whole cycle starts again. But now look what happens is you start neglecting yourself. You're no longer looking after yourself. You're putting everything into this baby because it's your responsibility. You stop caring for yourself and suddenly, boom, 20 years pass, baby grows up. Suddenly there's time for you, you look in the mirror, you've got knee ache, hip ache, ankle ache, back ache, headache, everything aches. You with me? Okay, so I'm standing in front of you now and I'm saying stop. You need to look at the way you are standing because that's the reason why you've got all the aches I've described and now you understand why you have. Okay. So I want you to think about the way you stand on your 2 feet, okay? I want you to make sure that your weight's in your heels and not in your toes. When you stand with your weight in your toes, you actually put your weight into your knees and your quads, okay? And then if you've got poor posture, that's just going to exacerbate ankle, knee, and hip ache and problems and backache, okay? So I want you to be mindful about the fact that you no longer stand on your toes, but you're going to stand on your heels. Because when you stand on your heels, you actually switch on the backs of your legs, the hamstrings, and then the glutes switch on. And this is the problem. Because you've been on your toes and in your knees, you don't know that you've even got a bottom muscle or a hamstring, the back of the leg. Okay, you don't even know they exist. They've become dormant. They're not even activated anymore. Okay? So I want you to start practicing standing and putting your weight in your heels. Play around with it, okay? And then just feel how your backs of your legs have to switch on to prevent you from falling back, okay? Also what I want you to discover is how your glutes have to switch on to prevent you from falling back, okay? So my glutes are switching on as well. Right, so now that we've got your weight in the right place, your weight in your heels, you've activated the backs of the legs, you've activated your glutes, then I want you to think of putting your belly on your spine, all right? Because that's going to protect your lower back. So belly, sink it into your spine tight. I always say pretend your belly button is a needle and you're pushing it into it like a drawing pin into a chalkboard. So you're squeezing a drawing pin into your spines, okay? So now we've activated glutes, we've activated core. Now I want you to take your shoulders forward, up by your ears, back, and slide your hands down. And ladies, we need to lift the sternum, okay? You need to stop walking around with your round shouldered like this because we're on typing, we're on the phone, okay? Poor posture. I want your shoulders back and down, your sternum up, long back of the neck. I always used to say to my ballet pupils, pretend I'm taking your ears and I'm pulling them to ceiling, like two little pixies are pulling your ears to the ceiling. So we want to have a long, straight spine, a neutral spine. We don't want any kinks and bends in our spine, all right? In order to keep it straight, you need to have your bottom muscles switched on, and to switch them on, you need to put your weight in your heels so that the backs of the legs are activated, the glutes are activated, your belly button's on your spine, your shoulders are forward, up, back and down, your sternum's up, and you've got a long back of the neck because I'm pulling your ears, or a little pixie is pulling your ears to the ceiling. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to posture. I no longer want to see you like this. We're told that as we get older and older and older, that we get shorter and shorter and shorter, and that's called old age. Well, it's not, ladies. It's called atrophy, which means that you have no more muscles in your body, okay? So don't tell me that you're not aware. You are now aware of the fact that you need to get your shoulders up, back and down, lift your sternum, lift your nipples, lift your breasts, okay? And stop walking around like this, because this is the reason why you've got lower back pain, headaches, shoulder ache, whatever other aches you've got. I hope that helps. Great. Have a wonderful rest of your day.